It's all right, Dan. You let me down. That's all. It's all right. It's okay. No, you give me your day's rest actually. So we have been cracking on. Right, guys, it's Tuesday afternoon following the bank holiday. Hope everybody has had a lovely break. I've actually had a few days off. Spent loads of time with the kids. Done a bit of running. Not too many emergencies. Might have had 4 or 5 come in. A couple of them I've sorted over WhatsApp. 2 of them I've converted to new boilers, which is good. But we've come into today and it's not been crazily busy. I'm not sure what everybody else is like. We've got installations for the week. Services are always busy, and I'd say our reactive stuff's booked up to maybe 30-40%, and then we're just filling the diary as the day goes on. But yeah, another short week. Thanks for watching last week's video. If you did, do me a favour and like the video if they're alright. If they're not alright, let me know in the comments what we can do to be better, but I do think it makes a difference to the channel. So yeah, thanks for that. And again, coming into today, it's not been overly busy, but about 11 o'clock our phones stopped working and the internet, and it's like an ongoing issue this that I've not dealt with. And yet since I've been spending more time at the office, I've been getting stuck into like what's going on, and this with the Wi-Fi just does your head in. It either drops out completely, or when everybody's using the computers, laptops, whatever, it's like mega slow to a point where I'll end up going home and doing some work at home, which is obviously not right. So I found out that we're on a shitty Wi-Fi router, some Mickey Mouse thing from Curry's. It's about 80 quid. The line that we've got, this analogue line, it's something you'd have in a domestic house 10 years ago. It's just rubbish. So I've been onto that, spoke to a couple of people as well to get some different opinions. But yeah, new router, new line, readjusted the contract, made sure that both businesses are covered, BHE and RJM, consolidated to one bill, and everything should be a lot better, and the girls won't be ringing me going nuts when the Wi-Fi goes off. The router that we've got, when the Wi-Fi goes down, there's no backup, where the new routers, if your Wi-Fi drops out, then it should change over to a SIM card as a backup, so at least there's no downtime. And with BHE and RJM, we can be getting 80 to 100 calls a day coming through, inbound, outbound, and it's a big problem. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've nipped to Tesco, had some dinner, and I'm back. I've just come back to the office now. I'll see what else is happening. Thursday morning, I'm back in the office. I did plan on getting some content done on the Tuesday afternoon, but you'd left to go home. So Dan left to go home on Tuesday. Wednesday, Dan's off. And now we're at Thursday. I'd say it's been pretty quiet. The girls will say otherwise, but the actual leads that have been coming in, we've not been rammed, and we had a few cancellations. I think these are jobs that customers have maybe potentially forgot about over Easter, so it just freed the lads up a little bit. But they came home, they've come back to the office earlier, got the vans washed, and we go again, Dan. The phone's actually going pretty nuts today. Paul from Ali Marketing has just emailed me asking if I can jump on Zoom, so he'll be looking at he'll be wanting me to confirm some of the artwork that we're doing across our marketing, so we'll jump on that now actually. Connor. Hi Paul, you alright?
Mate, you alright? I've sent you some pictures over of that survey.
Yeah.
I just want to see, so the picture I've sent you from the outside, you can just see with a bedroom window, that's where the boiler flue is.
Jeez, that boiler's been fitted low, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of cut into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like put into the floor, so I think it's on like a boarded panel off the wall.
Okay.
It's a bit weird. So there's wooden panels behind on the actual wall, and then that's like a built-off wall sort of thing.
It's been framed off, studied off.
Yeah. And then obviously the flue goes out, but I'm more concerned about the roof, Ryan. I don't know if you've seen the pictures.
Yeah. So where is the flue actually coming out though? Is that it?
If you look where you can see the conservatory.
Yeah.
Then the bedroom above with a window.
Is it just?
You can see the tip of the flue over the top of the top extension.
Yeah. So that's here.
From the back.
Yeah. Got that.
So that's where it comes out. Obviously, I can't get any visual on that. I've given him that new orange booklet. So
brilliant.
He's had a good through that. He's loving it. He's looking for a booklet and everything. So he just said, get a price he's going to get it changed.
Yeah, mega that, pal. You keep giving them booklets out.
Yeah, I'll keep trying.
Cheers, Connor. We've had another couple of
Mum
reviews.
and Dad have got like a cafe on Promenade, so I'm going to drop some in there and leave them on the counter there.
That's what I'm talking about.
People to just pick them up if we can.
Yeah, that's the one.
Get them out there if we can.
100%. Yeah. We'll get you on commission.
Yeah, hurry up and do it. I'm skint.
Cheers, Connor. We are getting quite a number of home cares that are signing up. They'll sign up. We'll go out to do an initial survey, and boilers 23, 24-year-old, if you will, or anything over 20-year-old, which in most cases, to be fair, they're in good nick and you can doctor them along. But at the start, I would kick them boilers back. Whereas now, we'll turn up, do an initial, explain to the customer we can potentially keep this boiler going, but in the event where it needs a part, it could be an issue. So we plant the seed off a new boiler, leave them some information, and then in this case, he wants it quoting. So you're going out for an initial inspection and potentially getting a new boiler. And Connor's getting used to doing that as well, because it can be a little bit daunting as well for your engineers to feel like they're salespeople, but we're not trying to be salespeople, we're just advising. And as soon as you get into that mindset, then it becomes easier. It's not awkward going to a customer that's expecting you to just do an initial and a service and then tell them they need a new boiler. Because you don't want to have like the BG mentality, whereas you're just salesmen coming in, upselling everything. We're certainly not doing that, but we're advising the best thing long term. So yeah, that's that. Kat, did you want to talk to me about the emails?
So on the inbox, it says, can you set up a gold card list?
Yes.
How do we get in touch with some people to set them up? Because Sue said there's no telephone number.
That sometimes can be an issue. So have they not done a contact form?
No, it's just come through, they've set up a direct debit. So we found one. That's.
I see. So the problem that we've got here. Sue, come in here. Come on. So this situation here with the go card list, just explain it to me. What we're finding. Because normally what you get through the site, you'll get site, contact form, they'll fill in that information. When they go on to the next page, we'll take the go card list details.
Right, okay. So I think it's the confirmation from setting up the go card list that Sue's getting.
Yeah.
And then she's got no details enter.
Okay.
There's no different emails, aren't there?
Right. But what we can do here on this first name, last name, phone number, we can put the email, we can put a box for email here.
Yeah.
So at least you've got all that and tie the emails in.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't want it to get missed.
Sweet. Yeah, the girls have just come in there asking questions about the contact forms and the emails. So what we used to use was, and I've had a few questions in the comments about Go High Level, Lead Hero, what's the other lad called that uses it? I forgot. But they all class it as their own system, but it's not. It's Go High Level. It's a white label marketing tool, and it's almost like a tiled system. So all your leads will drop into one place. That'll be like Facebook, Instagram, your website, even I think WhatsApp. There's all the information can come into one place, which is great, but that needs managing. So you would have all the leads that drop into the pipeline. Now we're in a reactive game. So in my world, you just want to pick up the phone and deal with it there and then and get rid of that customer, as opposed to all these jobs coming into one pipeline. Now you can set up multiple different pipelines, whether it be boiler, home care, reactive jobs, but then it's a full-time job managing it. So I've stripped it all back. I've got rid of Lead Hero. I've got rid of Sales Match, which is the same. I've just got rid of it for now, short term. There are a lot of benefits to Go High Level though, aside from the pipeline. You've got SMS campaigns, email campaigns, you can create landing pages, funnels. You can do loads with it. So marketeers love it because it's great, and you can really, it's sticky when you're dealing with a client, because you can white label this product and set all these businesses up within Go High Level, and then they've almost got a grip of you, if you will. You almost don't want to pull out because there's so much data gone into it. So it's great for marketeers, but I was struggling with it. Like in terms of boilers, you can set up nurture sequences. So your customer will drop into the pipeline, you'll go and survey the job, and then you may set up automation. So that might be a follow-up text, a follow-up voice note, a follow-up email. But again, what you're trying to do is leverage AI and automations, but I don't think there's anything better than just picking up the phone and just dealing with anything there and then and trying to close that, whether it's a boiler sale or a job, just get it booked in and on to the next one. So yeah, what I've done is stripped it all back, and we've just set up emails. So really gone back to basics. We've set up specific emails for BHE and RJM. So all the leads drop into one place, and then we just deal with them as they go. But some of the girls are getting a little bit confused on the different emails that we've got set up, and some of the information that we're getting from the customers, the main information is not there. So that's what we'll set up on the contact forms through the website. MacBook Air, I think, just a cheaper. Baxi give us this laptop. Yeah, Baxi give me this. I went for a run up Rivington, early morning. It was like 5:30, and I was going for a run before work. Big run up Rivington, not so big, just taking the dogs for a run up Rivington. And I came back, and some lads had put a brick through the side of the window on the van. So they put a brick through, and it just so happened I never carry cash on me. But that day, I had about £2,000 cash in my laptop bag with my my MacBook Air, which obviously I bought at that point. And I think there was some checks in there, and my jiu-jitsu gi. It was like a new gi that I had. And they took the lot, and it's funny, they actually nicked my laptop, nicked the cash, took my gym bag that had the gi in, and then when I'd seen it and I was heading back to the office, they'd thrown the gi out of the window of the van that was just on the road. And then I got back to the office, and as I'm pulling up, the Baxi rep was outside, and he'd seen that the glass was all smashed. He said, "What's gone on there?" I said, "I can't believe it. Some lad's just thrown a brick through." And he didn't even go straight through the glass, he hit the door first as well, so he damaged the door. So overall, that 5k run cost me about £5,000. £2,000 cash, the laptop and the repair. No, it'd be about £3,500. And then before I'd even got into the office, my app popped up on my RBS card. They'd gone to McDonald's and used my card, contactless, bought himself a breakfast. Before I could void it. And then it was about a month later, Baxi had some kind of competition on. But that year, I think we installed from doing 15 to 150 boilers that year. And they said you won the prize, and it just turned out that it was one of these, a MacBook Air. So to be fair to them, they replaced the laptop, the laptop for us. But I was gutted. I were gutted. So that's a tip. Never leave your cash in the front of the van. What I could have done is just put the bag in the back. But anyway, we definitely need to go to Morecambe and get some pictures of these caravan sites. They're brilliant. Just sent me a video now going up to them. They're brilliant. I'm not sure how many. I'll ask him how many we look after. Right, I'm going to do half an hour now, box off these tasks, make sure anything else that's outstanding is done, and I need to go across to my uncle's house. Now, I am pretty much off the tools, but my uncle's got a big farm, and I don't generally send any of my lads over there because it's a big system and there's a load of problems. His heating and hot water's gone off. He's got underfloor heating across 3 floors, cellar, first floor, second floor. He's had an extension to lift the roof to put a 4th floor in. I've got a Valent boiler that I installed when I was like 19, 20 that's just, it's on pretty much all the time, and there's a load of issues with it. So I'm in the van and we're at my uncle's house to carry out this repair. So this is the house that we're working on. You see the house there? She's lifted all that top floor. That top floor was never there. He's lifted the roof off and added them, I don't know what we call them dormers if you will. And there's a full floor actually underneath, which is the cellar room, which is all underfloor heating as well. But it's like Jurassic Park, there's dogs, animals everywhere. There's one of them, look at that thing. Absolute beast. That's one of them Belgian Malinois that run at walls. So hopefully that chain doesn't snap before we get in the house, Dan. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Come on. It's all right. Come on. So if we are, I'm filming this as well for engineers, so if it does come to a point where we're changing the boiler, we've not actually done this, but there's the vertical flue. So they've run through this little conservatory and put it there. That's not really legal, but anyway, we didn't put it in. What that is.
Yeah.
That's what they used to shop bowls. Yeah, I might start using that for our lads. Zapper. Yeah, 1,000 volts. That's if anyone breaks in. Right, let's have a look at the system. So my uncle's rang, he said there's no heating or hot water. There's loads of issues with this system. We've got 3 manifolds, which I'll run you by. We've got a really old unvented cylinder. It all wants ripping out and sorting, but as you can see from the outside, there's loads of building work that's going on. We're not sure whether we're going to go ground source, putting a heat pump in, another boiler. So for now, I've just got to get him up and running and I'll show you what we're dealing with. So this is boiler straight away, F75. There's probably some restriction through. It might be a little pressure sensor or the pump. Let's have a look at that. So we've got boiler here. We've got a 300 litre cylinder that's in here. It's got a bronze pump with the cables disconnected. That's not running. It's got a pressure fill valve. The system's losing pressure, so it's just got a pressure reducing valve set to a bar to keep it under pressure. This is the first underfloor heating manifold. This covers this area, covers this section, and all this space with an office in there and a room at the back. And straight away, we've got a leak here, down in the corner. There's a drain off that's leaking. This motorised valve that's here controls these 2 radiators. And them 2 radiators are controlled off this stat here. This is the original manifold, but we updated it might have been 5 years ago with this polypipe system. It's got the Wi-Fi section on there, the smart control, so you can use it through the phone. But because of the sheer thickness of these walls and the size of the house, it literally just doesn't work. The mesh system's not great. So that, and I mean, it's plugged in, but that's not being used. This is controlled by this here. Show the next manifold. Come on, upstairs. Second manifold, this controls all the first floor, which is this area and the small bathroom, the kitchen, and the flue. While we're here, the flue of the boiler runs up behind that granite section there. So we've got the boiler on the ground floor and it runs back of that slab. Then they've drilled it to outside through that orangery section at the back into a vertical flue. This can cause issues as well because the thermostat for this is just in that corner and you've got an Aga. We've got an Aga that's here that gets stupidly hot, that's on all the time until the pilot light goes off. And this space with the front room and the side room. Then let's go to the third manifold. Third manifold. And this is the third manifold. This has got some issues as well. We've got 2 auto air vents that have failed. They're leaking. Okay, they're just leaking and passing a little bit. And a couple of these actuators that sit on top of the manifold that are controlled by the individual thermostats, they've failed and they're taking out the fast blow fuse of this programmer. So what we've done is disconnected them completely. So it's running, it's working, but that needs addressing as well. We're going to change all the heads. We're going to change all the heads on all 3 zones, replace these auto air vents to fix the leaks, and then sort the repairs out on the boiler. This controls all this landing, bedroom 1, 2, 3, 4, but the problem we have got is decided to open all the back of the house as well. So this bedroom, you can see the building work that's going on there. So that's opened all that section, which is going to need some heat. F75 fault has cleared, but there's a number of issues. We've got a leak on the bottom of the expansion vessel. There's a leak where the pressure gauge connects to the plastic section of the block, just around the back of the pump. The pump seems okay, but we'll change the pressure sensor, and also we'll stick a service kit on it, graphite seal, electrodes, and just strip down the boiler. I'm not sure when this boiler is going to get changed, but it needs addressing. Underfloor heating manifolds, they need a load of work on it. So I'm going to send one of our guys back with all the gear to get this sorted, and it'll keep my Uncle Phil off my back. There are some repairs as well to do on this unvented cylinder. This cylinder was actually over in the other corner and then they've moved it to here. My cousin actually moved this cylinder when he was a plumber and put it in here, and then it's been boxed in to death. It's got a bronze pump on it that's not wired in, cable's been pulled out, so whether that pump's failed. So we'll get that changed and just tidy everything up. I'm going to send Dan or Ben back to sort all them jobs. Quick fix there in terms of resetting, but we've not fixed the boiler. More than likely that's going to go off again, but I don't want to start messing about with it now, like just doing bits of stuff. It just needs everything doing. Come on boys, let's have a look. Aaron, good to see Aaron's doing a bit. Sure, he's got his phone there, tucked it back of his neck. Right guys, I'm back in the van again. Sorry it's been a bit of a boring one this week. Unfortunately, not every week's exciting, especially for me. But I did just want to touch on this boiler tax situation. It's all a little bit on the quiet at the minute. I know more and more people are hearing about it, but it's not come to light yet. And basically, since the start of the year, we've been paying an additional 120 to 150 quid on some of the main manufacturers like Worcester, Baxi, and they're the ones that we deal with anyway. Alpha, another option that we installed, did not have that tax on. And this tax has been added on, well, it's fabrication really, because the tax was never actually there until now, but the manufacturers have needed to prepare for it and charge this in advance, if you will. And basically, in its simplest form, in my simplest form, the tax is to push manufacturers into installing more heat pumps. So they put the tax on the boilers. That's now been scrapped, but the consumer, and the bottom line is they put an extra 150 quid on per boiler. Now, some engineers will say they have swallowed that cost within their price, which unfortunately, because the margins are that tight, you almost have to do. We did have a line on our invoices at the start because we give multiple options on boilers that Alpha boilers do not have incorporate the boiler tax basically. Therefore, the boiler is cheaper. It's a cheaper price point. So we kind of half, if you will, half charge the tax, but you're still trying to keep your margin tight because you're competing against other engineers and all the rest of it. But the bottom line is these consumers have paid an potentially additional 150 quid on a boiler that was never there. Now, what I've seen this week is some of the bigger players like Plumbase and City Plumbing looks like shown dominance in the market, that they are just going to pay all this money back. Okay, they're just going to pay all their engineers back, and then the engineers deal with it. Now, as an engineer, what do you do then? Do you need to ring back your customers and give them that money back? Or are you keeping that money because you've swallowed that cost and it's done? I mean, in an ideal world for me, I'd have been happy for it to just forget the boiler tax, forget the refund, we paid the additional cost, the customers paid the additional cost, and we're none the wiser. But that's not going to happen. When the likes of Martin Lewis or somebody of that calibre gets a grip of this, everybody will know about it, and it could be like another PPI thing. And that's where it gets messy, especially when you've got City Plumbing and Plumbase that are already giving their refunds. But how does that leave some of the private suppliers, the smaller chain suppliers? What do they do? Because they've not had their money back from their supplier. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. But if there are any other engineers that are looking into this, or what are their thoughts? What are your thoughts on this situation and how we navigate through over the next 3 to 4 weeks? Next week, I am going to be busy because my engineers in Lancaster are not busy. I do talk about the RJ Martindale's flying, which is great, but over in Lancaster and Morecambe, I've got 2 service engineers and they're not busy enough. The diaries are only booked up 40% and they've not got reactive work coming in, which is a big problem. Catherine and Rachel, who used to run BHE, would say they're on standby. Standby is no good for me. We're not big enough to be on standby. There's not enough residual money coming in on that side to be on standby. So what I need to do is be proactive into sorting local ads out. So I'm not sure exactly which way I'm going to go about it. We're planning it now, but I'll let you know how I do go about it and how we can increase reactive jobs. Ideally, an installation once a week, fill in the reactive stuff. Where they are really quiet, I'm going to get help in covering some of the RJ Martindale stuff, which is a little bit closer to Lancaster, around the Chorley and Preston area, until we can ramp up the private side. That's what we're going to be doing next week.